This show is called Tangled Hearts, and the reason it's called Tangled Hearts is because I've been doing a form of art called Zentangle, and there's Zia, Z-I-A, called Zentangle Inspired Art. So anything that's bigger than a 3.5 by 3.5 square is called Zentangle Inspired Art. So I've been using that technique. It's a little bit more difficult to use it for doing acrylics, which most of these are. So it was a bit of a challenge, but I've really enjoyed doing the whole thing.
Why hearts?
Why hearts? Oh, okay. Well, my birthday is February the 12th, and so that's 2 days before Valentine's Day, and I had a very special relationship with my father, and he would always phone me at exactly the time I was born on February the 12th, and so hearts were always really a part of my life. I remember back in the 50s having the little plastic baskets, and he would fill them with cinnamon candy hearts, and I would, I don't know, I just have this really special feeling around hearts. You know, it's just sort of like a heart connection. And this particular piece right here, how I got started doing art was, I haven't really done this. My mother was an art teacher. I have artistic daughters, and so I've been surrounded by art a lot. But when I was in grade 1, my teacher said, don't draw flowers in the margins, and I was left-handed, so she said, don't write from right to left, as I was doing mirror writing. So I was put in a little box, and as an Aquarian, we don't fit very well in boxes because we have our arms and our legs sticking out everywhere. However, I acquiesced to that, and I did not draw in the margins anymore, and I just basically stopped drawing. And then I started doodling things. And so then I thought, well, someone had given me a rock that said, the goddess is in. And the paint started to come off, and I thought, oh, I really like that rock. I think I'll just paint over it. So then I started painting rocks. And I painted hundreds and hundreds of rocks. In fact, I have some over in the window. And I just love that. But I was also was living in a household with other people, and we kept getting these massive numbers of painted rocks. And so the woman suggested, well, perhaps you'd like to try, you know, doing something on canvas or paper that you could put on the wall, and it would be thinner and not so heavy. So I did. And just started doodling with felt markers, and went to Costa Rica. And my friend there, who was an artist, when I was doodling in her kitchen, she said, oh, you're an artist. And I kind of laughed at her. And she said, you would enjoy watercolor pencils. And so I immediately went out to one of the big box stores in Costa Rica. I got myself a set of 12, and I started doing watercolors. And then bit by bit, I discovered other products. Derwent, which is an English company, has a wonderful set of something called Inktense watercolor pencils, and they're a dye, so when you use them they have very vibrant colors, and so I've just fallen in love with those. And I love things that sparkle and shine. And see ya. And then so almost everything has got a little bit of shine on it. So I've been using molding. All of this in here is something called molding paste from Germany, there and there. And I like to build, I like to build up little parts of the painting so it looks a little bit more 3D. So I'll actually use 3D paint that's designed to go on clothing, and I'll use it on artwork. And I don't know, other artists have described my work as being whimsical, and I know that there's some art that is really edgy, and I find a lot of curves. You know, there's a lot of curves in whatever I do. I mean, this, for instance, was an upcycle piece, so I just went to the thrift store, and I got this for $1. I got this one for $1, and I got this one for 75 cents because it had some sort of plaster of Paris or something on it. and it was coming off. So I took it home and I started scraping it off, and I thought, wait a minute, this has got texture. So I left the rest of it on, and I just painted the whole thing black, and my husband and I looked at it and thought, well, okay, so what's there? Which pieces go together? And I just left it overnight and came in the morning, and I thought, this looks like sort of this magical land. And one of the women that's here at the Pandora Art Collective said to me, she said, I want to go there. And my husband said, that is where we go when we sleep. And there's been several people today that said the same thing. That's where they want to go. So this seems to be everybody's favorite. It's called Abundance. And the reason I've named it Abundance is because it looks like, it looks almost to me like a basket that's full of something, like some people will see candy in it, other people will see roundness and fullness and all this sort of thing. And to me, I think about God providing everything for us, and I think about this song and this Bible verse that said, Lord, fill my cup to overflowing. And that's what I think of that is. And let me see, this one I have on my Facebook page, and I have a really hard time changing it because I just love it. I love the colors. I love the fact that it sparkles. I don't know, I just love it. It's like all my art comes from within. And so I just don't judge it anymore. In fact, after I finish doing it, I kind of go, did I actually do that? It kind of surprises me. So, see ya. And then more hearts, of course. There's something about hearts that are just very dear to me, and I think it's my birthday. I love my two favorite colors are red and purple. So I guess it's kind of like the red hat ladies that when they get older, they wear red hats and just do outrageous things. And so here I am at I'll turn 67 in the middle of this show. And this is my first solo art show. If you had asked me before I met my husband, who's actually my muse, that I would be doing this, I would have laughed at you. I laughed at my best friend who was just sitting here, and when she said, oh, you're an artist, and I went, yeah, right. And then when the woman in Costa Rica said, oh, you're an artist, I thought, oh, that's two people. Maybe I am an artist, I don't know. And so I just, but I can't stop doing it. I just keep doing it, and our house looks like an art studio. It doesn't look, we say we live in an art and music studio with cooking, bathroom, and sleeping facilities. That's pretty much the way it is. And it's just all over, and we love it. And it nourishes us and nurtures us. Yeah. So, and this one, this is kind of whimsical. I use a lot of canvases that I find other places, and I can't remember where this one came from, but I just took a Chinese newspaper and I decoupaged that on, and I had something happening in the middle of here, and then I decided I didn't like it, so I put this modeling paste on it, and it just really made the whole thing, Love sunflowers, love any kind of flowers. I love flowers, but sunflowers I think are probably my favorite. This one, my husband loves, and so it's not for sale, obviously, and he wants to go there. That is where he wants to go, and that is where he wants to go. So whenever I draw anything like that, that is where he wants to go. That's where he loves to live in this kind of a world. And this is called Seascope, and there's a lot of the Zen tangles that I do that just kind of flow together, and so it's hard to find a real hard edge to my work. This was the last piece I did just because I had the frame. I had 9 frames, and my original plan was to put these 9 together and they would all be coherent, and then after I did some of the hearts, this sort of broke up the coherency, as did that one. And so at the last minute, I just did the rainbow going in. And this is the one that I'm dedicating to Mrs. McGowan, who's probably long gone. She was our first grade teacher. She's the one that told me, don't draw in the margins. So that's it. And this is this is the funniest thing. I don't know where this came from. It's just, I called it the weird white fish. So my husband renamed it, but it just looks weird to me. First I was making an eye, and then I thought, well, I'll make an eye with a fishtail on it, you know. And then I went, very rarely do I ever do art that I go, oh, this is terrible. What happens is I say to myself, okay, art goes through an ugly stage. This is the ugly stage. It'll be okay. You just keep going. And so I just keep going. There's very few things that I have that I go over, you know, and change. So that's it. There's 23 paintings here. And when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed, I say to myself, when I go to bed, that which I have created came out of me and didn't exist before this morning. And I'm always amazed. I'm just in awe of what is possible as human beings and our human potential. Yeah.